Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Inquisition. This is the live video review for the game Evolve Take 2. Yes, this is the second take. I do not know why, but the first one did not work. So, here we go again. Let's start with the classes that you can play in Evolve. Here we go. The first class that you can play is the Assault, which are the main damage dealers. They are also the kind of the tanks. Every class has a class ability, plus every member of each class has 3 of its own abilities, and these abilities include the weapons. So here we go. Let's start with Markov. Markov has a lightning gun and an assault rifle. Those are his 2 weapons, and he does a lot of damage. He also has the arc mines, which are landmines that you can place. The second member of the assault class, it's Hyde. Hyde has a flamethrower and a minigun. They both deal quite a bit of damage. He also has toxic grenades, which are like poison cloud grenades. The third member of the assault class is Parnell, which I have not unlocked yet. He has the super soldier buff, which allows him to do a ton of damage. He has a combat shotgun and a multi-fire rocket launcher. Again, 2 weapons, as seems to be the case for every member of the assault class. Their ability class is that they can shield themselves for a short period of time. The Trapper, we start with Maggie, who also has Daisy, as you can see in the background, which is a pet Trapjaw. The pet Trapjaw can go ahead and track the monster as well as revive other teammates. She has also the harpoon traps, which are traps that she places on the floor, and if the monster comes near, it gets trapped and it cannot move. It has to break the traps before moving. And she has the machine pistol, which is a little bit like a shotgun in the sense that it has a very large spread, not very accurate, but does tons of damage if you manage to get up close. The second member of the Trapper class is Mr. Griffin, and Mr. Griffin has sound spikes that he can place all over the map, and if the monster ever gets near those spikes, it will alert everyone, and we can see it on our maps. It has the harpoon gun, which it's a little bit like the traps, but this is an actual gun. He has to hang on to the gun to make the we have an invitation from Assassin, but it will come later. A harpoon gun that can make the monster stay in place, but he has to hold on to it. And he has a Gauss SMG, which is a little bit the same principle as the machine pistol, does a lot of damage, but you do have to be near. Last but not least, we have Abe. Sorry about that. Who has a tracking dart pistol, which allows you to follow the monster over terrain. He has a stasis grenade, my bad, which I'm assuming stuns enemies, because I have not played with him. As you can see, I haven't unlocked him yet, and I have not seen him played with me. He also has a custom shotgun, which does quite a bit of damage if up close. Their class ability is the arena mode, which can be placed in a certain position, and anything in it will be trapped. It cannot go out. Monsters or players. It can be very effective, or it can be a dooming device, and by this I mean that if you trap the monster in a well placed position when the monster is a little bit vulnerable, it will win you the game. However, if you trap the monster in a place where it's at its advantage, and he has tons of armor and he's level 2 or 3, it can wipe your whole party. So you have to be very, very careful with that. As a trapper, you can win games, but you can also lose them for your team. Third of all, we have the medic class. Let's start with Val. She has a med gun, which is a little bit of a stream. You point it point towards someone and it will heal them for as soon as you keep it pointed at them and trigger and push the trigger. The Trank Gun, it allows you to slow the monster for a few seconds, and while the monster is slowed you can see him through terrain, so it's a little bit of a tracking for a few seconds. The third one is the Armor Piercing Sniper Rifle. Any sniper rifle is gonna create weak points on the target, which can be exploited by the rest of the team. This particular sniper rifle is quite powerful, does a little bit of damage, but it's very slow. Compared to Lazarus, who has a silent sniper rifle. It's a very fast shooting sniper rifle. It doesn't do tons of damage, but it places a lot of weak points in the monster that can be exploited by any other member of the team. Second of all, he has his personal cloak, which can allow him to turn invisible, and I am saying this because in other games you do not have this. The invisibility cloak for all the characters that have them are quite strong, since as a monster you are quite large and cannot always see the people around you, and much less when they're invisible, as normally you can see their health bars and their names. When you have the invisibility cloak you cannot do that. Third of all, and most importantly for Lazarus, he has the Lazarus device, which allows you to resuscitate enemies, which is not the same thing as reviving them. As a player, as a hunter, when you are knocked out of the game, when you are on your back with your pistol, you are able to be revived by other characters, but you are not dead, you are just down. If, however, someone manages to kill you, that means that while you were down, they managed to remove all the remaining health you have left, or the time elapsed and you died. Lazarus is able to resuscitate you, which means that it can bring you back from the dead. Yeah, ain't that handy. Third of all, we have Keira. Keira is really strong. She has a healing grenade launcher, which is exactly what it sounds. It launches grenades and it heals people. Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about, guys. That's how I want to be a medic, you know? Second of all, she has the acceleration field, which is a speed buff. And third of all, Napalm grenade launcher. I love this girl. I haven't unlocked her yet, but I love her already. That's how I wanna be. Of course, as a whole, the medics have the ability to heal people around them. It's a burst of healing. It heals anyone that's near them, and it works pretty well. Third of all, we have the support class. Let's start with Hank. Hank has a shield projector, which launches a stream that can shield anyone around them. It also has an orbital barrage, which is pretty much an artillery strike. Really, really, really strong if it hits. Really hard to hit though. If it does hit, it can deal tons of damage, and by tons of damage I am talking about dealing 2, even 3 bars of health or armor to a monster, which is a lot, as you will see when we get to the actual gameplay. And third of all, he has a laser cutter, which resembles a little bit of a minigun, really fun to shoot and deals a lot of damage too. Second member of the class, of the support class, we have Bucket. Yes, we have a robot, people. It's sci-fi, we're in space, we should have robots. So the UAV, he detaches his head, and his head becomes a device that allows him to move around and try to spot the monster. If he does spot the monster, he's gonna be able to track it, and when he tracks it, everyone in the party can see where the monster is. He has sentry guns, which is pretty much what that means. It's turrets. He can place turrets around, and the turrets do damage. They do okay damage. And he has a guided missile launcher, which are shots that follow the target. Bucket is not very, very, very useful in combat, but he does the job. His primary objective is to track and to secure some positions. The third and last member of the support class, I have not played him, I have not played against him, so everything I'm saying here is just suppositions. Not against him, I haven't played with him either, so what I'm saying here is pretty much what I think it could be. Cabot has a damage amplifier, which I believe means that if it hits a monster with that while the monster is under the effect of the damage amplifier, takes more damage. If he has a railgun, who's seems to be his primary gun, and he has dust tagging, which I believe makes it so that we can see creatures in a certain area. And the support team as a whole has the ability to cloak themselves and anyone around them. As I said with Lazarus, they're very good cloaks. It allows you to go and rest people when they are dying, and it's very, very useful. Last but not least, we have the monsters. The three monsters, the kaijus, the world eaters, whatever you want to call them. We have, first of all, we have the Goliath, who has fire breath. Pretty much imagine a giant what you call it? Not a fire launcher, but anyway, fire breath. He has a leap smash, which is pretty much what it sounds like. He leaps into the air and he smashes down, deals a lot of damage to any target in the ground. Rock throw, which if used properly, can do not only a lot of damage, but it can cause someone to be stunned for about 3 seconds, which is a lot if it's if you hit the medic or the assault. And he has a charge, which is the most OP ability this kaiju, this particular monster has, because it can charge in a straight line. You can move it a little bit, but it doesn't. You know, he can move, but not that much. And he can bring everyone down in that path, and he can use it to travel a lot of distance very, very fast. The reason I say it's very, very OP, it's because it allows you to either gain a lot of terrain while attacking people, or gain a lot of terrain if you're running away from the hunters. I was looking for flamethrower, by the way, with a fire breath. It's a big, big flamethrower. Second, we have the Kraken. Release the Kraken! Yes, indeed. We have the Banshee Mines, which are these little balls, these little orbs of lightning that he can place around the map, and if you get anywhere near them, they hurt. He has the Aftershock. He's the center of the Aftershock. He goes into a little bit of a stasis where he can move a little bit, but not very much, and he creates a big explosion. It's really hard to land because of the fact that you are stationary or almost, and the enemies can move away from it, but if it lands, it does deal a reasonable amount of damage. The Lightning Strike, probably one of his strongest abilities if aimed properly. It calls a lightning from the strike, and you can aim it until it hits, which means that you can move it around. And it does a lot of damage, and it makes it so that people go flying, so a CC indeed. It has the Vortex, the last ability, which is a ball that he sends through the air, and if you get hit by the ball, you take some damage and you go out flying. The third member of the monster family that I have not unlocked yet is the Wraith. The Wraith is really, really strong and really, really slippery and a real pain in the ass to catch. The Wraith has a Wrap Blast. I have not played her, I have played against her, so everything I'm saying here is from the point of view as a hunter. As the hunter, so I might be a little bit wrong on some of this. The Wrap Blast does a lot of damage around it. The Abduction, that I can't tell you what it is. It grabs someone and you can move a little bit with them. It's not very far, but far enough to disorient the whole team and make them ask what the hell is happening. And third, we have the Decoy, which is she turns invisible and she sends another Wraith into combat, so that can allow you to either escape, or it can allow you to make everyone use their cooldowns on her, and then you can go in when everyone's exhausted. The Supernova is a buff, does a lot of damage really, really fast. So, in conclusion, for the monsters, we have the big bad tank, the big warrior who is the Goliath, does a lot of damage, takes a lot of damage, does a lot of CC. We have the mage in the form of the Kraken, who can fly a little bit and cast spells, and we have the rogue, that is the Wraith, that can do a lot of damage but is really, really squishy, has not much armor, and she loses life quite fast. So that's the video that we have for the classes. Now, how about we jump into an actual game to show you guys what the gameplay is all about, what this game is.